Hey y'all, just wanted to give y'all an update on how Ethiopia was and a little life change that I have made. So, yeah, Ethiopia was amazing and life changing and beautiful and awesome and all of that. We got to stay on a compound full of kiddos. There was about 30 of them, 32 of them, I think, and they are all orphans, or they've lost their parents, or their parents abandoned them, or they were just left on the steps of the orphanage. And so they stay there now with house moms who are women who are widowed or things like that, and they take care of all these kids, and they have houses and beds to sleep in and meals, and they get an education, and they get to learn about the Lord. And so it's so amazing. The organization is called Hope Ethiopia. And so yeah, we stayed there for 4 weeks, and we did a lot of manual labor for ministry. We hoed and tilled gardens with pickaxes and literal hoes, and we cut grass with machetes that were about this big, and we had to cut all of the land, and there's acres and acres of land, and so we just had to cut all that with machetes. And then we got to go to a reforestation center, which is where they replant all these trees and things like that. So it was all really, really cool, but it's very sore. We got to celebrate Halloween there in Ethiopia, and so we got to have a costume party and things like that, and celebrate it kind of how Americans would, but a little differently. And yeah, and then I fell off a horse. Our prize for winning the contest at the Halloween party was that we get to ride a horse, and of course I love that because I've ridden horses growing up. And I go and I ride this horse, and I go to get off of it, and the saddle flips, and it flips me off, and I literally fell 4 feet to the ground. I got flat on my back off the horse. It was not fun, and I screwed up my back pretty good and had to go to the hospital, but everything is fine, no broken bones or anything, which is good. And then after that, we got to do a dental and eye and veterinary clinic. There were different medical teams that came in for a week while we were there, and they just did a few of them were veterinarians, a few of them were dental hygienists and things like that. And I got to literally pull a human tooth, y'all. A human tooth out of somebody's mouth. It was interesting and terrifying and exhilarating, but scary all at the same time. And after I did that, I literally almost passed out because I could see how bad the guy was in pain, and it was not fun. I mean, it was fun, but it was, I don't know. I don't think I could do that again. But yeah, so I literally pulled a human tooth out of somebody's mouth. And then with the veterinary clinic, you got to go and hike up in the mountains and give vaccines to farm animals and things like that. And I found out that how to figure out if a sheep is albino. So don't think I ever would have learned that anywhere else. Yeah. And then we found out that they have scriptures written on popsicle sticks, and they plant them all over the ground of the farm. So this ground is completely filled with scripture. And then every brick that was used to build the buildings and all the houses where the kids stay at, and even the main house where we hung out at, all of the bricks have scripture on them. So that is just amazing and so cool. And you can just feel God's presence there so well. And I really truly learned to listen to the Lord and to trust in him and lay everything at his feet and put all of my trust in him while there in Ethiopia. So it was very life-changing and good, and so good. I grew so much there. And then towards the whole month that I was in Ethiopia, and a little bit before while I was in Morocco, I was really struggling with whether or not I should go home. And I was I can't go home. I've raised all this money, and I committed to 11 months, but I just had such a strong urge to go home. And so I prayed about it and wrestled with it for so long. And then towards the end of Ethiopia, like I realized that like I'd had a lot of dreams while I was in Ethiopia. And I truly believe that the Lord speaks to us through dreams. And so I prayed for that. I said, Lord, I pray for a dream that shows me where my heart is meant to be and where your will is for me. And if I'm at home or with my family, then I'll know I'm meant to be home. Or if I'm doing ministry or with squad mates or in another country, then I'll know I'm meant to stay on the race. And so I went to bed that night and I had a dream that I was in my hometown and everybody was hugging me and greeting me with open arms and support and love and just telling me how happy they were to have me home. And it was even like the little girl that I nanny, her name's Reagan. She like ran up and jumped into my arms and was like, you're home. And even her mom came up to me after. This was all in my dream. And they were just like, we're so glad to have you home. And then it turned into me at my grandma's house. And I walked in the door and I was like, hey grandma, like I'm home a little sooner than expected. And she comes around the corner and is hugging me and was like, I'm still so proud of you. Don't feel shame. Like we're so happy to have you home. And then I woke up and I was a little shook because that was the first time I had like prayed for something so specific and received it from the Lord. And so I was a little shook by it and I was like, okay, like is that my own desires or is that really the Lord telling me that I'm meant to go home? And so I just asked for confirmation. Like a day or two later, I was like, okay, Lord, like I pray for another dream, and this time if my mom is in the dream or I'm at home, then I will know that I'm meant to go home. And if I'm in another country or doing ministry or anything like that, then I'll know that your will is for me to stay on the race. And I went to bed that night and I had a dream of me and my mom in the car leaving our neighborhood and talking about how I left the race. And I woke up in the middle of the night from that, and I just remember waking up with like an overwhelming sense of peace and hearing the words like, it's time. And so I thought, okay, like I get it. So I woke up that next morning and I just had so much peace about it until I started to think about people's opinions and the fear of man and what everyone would think about me coming home. And then I realized that I couldn't let the fear of man or opinions of others affect my decision and me obeying the Lord's will. And so I stuck with it, and I am just at so much peace about it. And then I told my team that I made the decision that I will most likely be going home after Ethiopia. And after that, one of my teammates came up to me and she said, hey, like I wanted you to wholeheartedly make this decision on your own, so I didn't want to tell you this till after. But now that you've made your decision, I just wanted to let you know that the Lord has been telling me that you were going to go home since Panama. And I was like, whoa, really? And she goes, yeah. She goes, at first I struggled with listening to the Lord, and I didn't know if that was him or the enemy or what. But like the way you've like explained these things and told me, she was like, I know that you're meant to head home, and like it's okay, and to like be okay with your decision and go with like follow your heart. And I said, okay, well, and I thanked her for it, and I was just like, wow. So it was just like more confirmation that like I knew I was meant to head home at this time. And so leaving the compound on the last day, the squad left to go to India, and me and my friend Kenzie, who was also on the race with me, but she got offered her dream job in the NICU as a nurse at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. So congrats to her. She decided to take that opportunity, which is amazing, and she's going to be a little NICU nurse dealing with babies. So me and her headed the other way, and we headed back home. And yeah, so I am home now with my family, and it was a weird transit. I'm still transitioning. The jet lag was awful. Can I just tell you, oh my goodness, jet lag is horrible. I think I'm still trying to figure it out, and I've been home for about a week now. But yeah, I just wanted to like get settled in with my family, and I got to have Thanksgiving with my family, which was just so great. And I actually called my grandma and told her that I was home, and she said the same exact things like on the phone that she had said in my dream when I told her that I was home. She literally said, "Oh, Brooke, I'm still so proud of you, and there's no need to feel shame, and I'm so glad that you're home." And those were the exact words that she had said in my dream. And I told her that, and she was like, "Girl, that's a sign." And so yeah, I know that I'm obeying and I'm following in the Lord's will for me, that it was time for me to come home. And even though I only did like 6 months of the race, it was 6 months of the most amazing mission trip of my life. And I would not be who I am today if it wasn't for that. And I have learned and grown so much in these past 6 months than I have in my entire life. And so I'm just so thankful for that. I'm so thankful for the World Race, and so thankful that I got the opportunity to do this. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who supported me, and financially or just in general had supported me with words of wisdom and courage and things like that. And I just want everyone to know, like, I was so worried that everyone was going to be like, you raised all this money and then you threw it away. Well, it doesn't just get thrown away, the money that I raised. It actually goes back into the Adventures and Missions funds, and it goes towards like future mission trips and things like that. So your money is still going towards mission trips and future missionaries and all those things. I just like decided to take my part out of that, or hop out of that and come home. But I just want to thank everyone who did support me, because if you wouldn't have supported me, I would not have been able to do this 6 months of missions that I did. And it was truly life-changing, and I'm so grateful for it. So yeah, if you have any other questions, you can message me or DM me, and I will answer those for you. I will be starting a new blog. It won't be from the World Race. It'll be like on a different site, and I will release all of that soon. And yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know on my life change, and that I am here at home with my family. And I may not know why the Lord has called me home, but I know He will reveal that to me in time, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's a week from now, or whether it's months from now. I know that this is where I'm meant to be, and it's the Lord's will, and I just have to follow it and trust it and see where it leads. And I've already been offered a job opportunity. Well, like, the Lord opened up an amazing door for an amazing job, and so there's that. And I got to reconnect with my church community and everyone around me, and my close friends and family and things like that. And so it's been amazing, and I can't wait to share with y'all and continue to share what the Lord does throughout my life. That's what my blog will be for, that I create here soon. And yeah, I just want to continue to be able to like tell y'all what the Lord's doing in my life and different things that I learn and grow in, and hopefully it can help some of y'all. So thank you for listening, and I will see y'all later. Bye.